One of these bands scored a #1 hit months after they had already broken up, and watched total strangers cash in on it. Another wrote a smooth radio classic that is secretly about a drug dealer. And #1 lost a founding member mid-tour to a group later branded a cult. 7 rock legends, 7 dark secrets, and the truth is worse than the myth. Welcome to Thunder Riff Station. These are 7 classic rock bands you have heard 1,000 times, each hiding a story the radio never told you. Some are feuds, some are betrayals. One is a straight-up disappearance. Stick around because #1 still gives fans chills. Subscribe and let's count them down. Here is what ties these 7 together. The hit song is the myth everyone remembers. The real story, the fight over the money, the meaning buried in the lyrics. The member who walked away, that is the part nobody plays on the radio. We are counting down from #7 to a #1 that reads like a missing persons case. Let's open the first file. #7, The Zombies. In 1967, this British band recorded an album called Odyssey and Oracle. And then, convinced they were finished, they quietly broke up. By early 1968, the Zombies did not exist anymore. Then the strangest thing in the file happened. A song from that album, Time of the Season, written by keyboardist Rod Argent, slowly caught fire on American radio. In early 1969, it hit #3 in the United States and #1 in Canada, a smash by a band that had already walked away. Think about how strange that is. The players who made that hit had moved on to ordinary lives, watching their own record climb the charts with no group left to tour it. The Zombies had made one of the most beautiful albums of the decade and split up right before the world finally agreed. And here is the dark part. With a hit and no band to cash in, an American promoter reportedly assembled fake Zombies, more than one phony lineup touring the States under the real band's name. It is widely reported that one of those counterfeit groups even included 2 future members of ZZ Top. Strangers were getting rich pretending to be a band that no longer existed. #6, The Band. They backed Bob Dylan, they made classics like The Wait, and for years they looked like the tightest brotherhood in rock. But drummer and singer Levon Helm spent much of his life telling a very different story. In his memoir, Helm claimed the songs were built by the whole group in the room together, but that guitarist Robbie Robertson ended up with most of the songwriting credit and the publishing royalties that came with it. By Helm's account, the others poured in their parts and saw far less of the money. For Helm, this was not about ego, it was about the checks. He argued that a song like The Wait was shaped by everyone's playing and singing, yet the credit told a different tale. He carried that resentment for decades and wrote it all down so the world would hear his side. But this is one man's account, and it is only fair to say Robertson strongly disputed it, insisting he was the one who actually wrote those songs. The two never fully settled it, and it was never resolved in court. What is certain is that a brotherhood that made timeless music was quietly torn apart by the question of who really earned the credit. #5, The Animals. In 1964, they took an old traditional folk song and turned it into House of the Rising Sun, a haunting #1 on both sides of the Atlantic, and one of the most famous records of the 60s. But when the credits were printed, the arrangement was registered to just one member, keyboardist Alan Price. According to the other Animals, there simply was not room to list all 5 names, so Price's name went on alone, and the royalties followed. The problem, by the other members' account, was that this was supposed to be shared. Singer Eric Burdon and the rest say the whole group built that arrangement together. The organ, the vocal, the slow burning climb. Yet Burdon and the others reportedly saw little to nothing from one of the biggest songs they ever made. Now, Price has largely declined to discuss it over the years, so we are careful here. This is the other members' side of the story. But the bitterness was real enough that it helped drive Price out of the band by 1965. One credit line on one traditional song quietly split the Animals apart. #4, the Kinks. They gave us You Really Got Me and helped invent the hard rock riff. But behind that success, the two brothers who ran the band Ray and Dave Davies, were famous for fighting, and one night in 1965, the violence spilled onto the stage. On the 19th of May, 1965, at a show in Cardiff, Wales, a long-running feud exploded. Guitarist Dave Davies reportedly kicked over drummer Mick Avery's kit, and Avery swung back with a cymbal stand, striking Dave in the head and knocking him out cold on the stage. Dave was rushed to the hospital, reportedly needing around 16 stitches. Avery, terrified that he had actually killed his bandmate, fled the scene, and for a short time the Kinks could not even finish their own tour dates. This was not a scuffle backstage. It happened in front of a paying audience, and yet somehow the Kinks survived. Avery stayed in the band for another 19 years, and the Davies brothers kept making brilliant, furious records while barely speaking. The secret behind one of Britain's greatest bands was a rivalry so intense it once left a member unconscious under the lights. If these buried stories are hitting for you, do me a favor and hit subscribe, because Thunder Riff Station lives on exactly this, the truth behind the songs you grew up on. Then tell me in the comments which one shocked you most so far. Now, the top 3. Number 3, Steely Dan. Donald Fagen and Walter Becker made some of the smoothest, most sophisticated music of the 1970s, the kind of jazzy pop that plays in every coffee shop and grocery store. But the band itself was built on one very strange secret. Start with the name. Steely Dan is not a person. It is taken from the novel Naked Lunch by William Burroughs, where Steely Dan is the name of a steam-powered adult toy. This effortlessly smooth radio band is named after a device from one of the most notorious books of the century. And that dark streak runs straight through the lyrics. Take Kid Charlemagne, one of their most beloved songs. Underneath that slick groove, it is loosely inspired by a real-life underground chemist from the 1960s, a man famous for manufacturing LSD. Millions have sung along without ever clocking the story. Then there is a track called Everyone's Gone to the Movies, all bright melody and warm chords. But listen closely, and it is widely interpreted as being sung from the point of view of a deeply predatory man showing films to children. Becker and Fagen left it just ambiguous enough, and that was the whole point. Beauty hiding something genuinely disturbing. Number 2, Creedence Clearwater Revival. For a few incredible years, they were the biggest band in America. Proud Mary, Bad Moon Rising, Fortunate Son. But at the center of Creedence were two brothers, John and Tom Fogerty, and their story does not end well. John, the younger brother, was the singer, the writer, the engine of the band. As Creedence fell apart, John went to war with the head of their record label, Fantasy Records, over contracts and publishing. And by John's account, the deepest wound was that his own brother Tom took the label's side against him. John Fogerty has said that Tom, as he put it, befriended the very man John was fighting. The brothers became estranged. Tom left the band in 1971, and the family bond that started the whole thing quietly broke apart over money and control. Everything a band is supposed to protect you from. And then it ran out of time. Tom Fogerty died in 1990, reportedly from complications after an infected blood transfusion, before the brothers ever fully reconciled. To his credit, John has since said he forgave Tom and believes that, had Tom lived, they would have found their way back to each other. Number 2 is a reminder that the fight is never really worth it. Number 1, Fleetwood Mac. Long before Rumours and Stevie Nicks, they were a gritty British blues band, and in February 1971, they were touring America when they lost a founding member in the strangest way imaginable. Guitarist Jeremy Spencer told the band he was stepping out of their Los Angeles hotel to grab a magazine before that night's show. He walked to a bookshop on Hollywood Boulevard, and then he simply did not come back. His bags were still in his room, and the concert that night had to be canceled. When they finally found him days later, Spencer had joined a religious group called the Children of God. His hair was cut, he had a new name, and he calmly refused to rejoin the band. Guitarist Peter Green had to be pulled back in to finish the tour, and Spencer never returned to Fleetwood Mac. Now, to be fair, Spencer has always insisted he was not kidnapped or brainwashed, that he went willingly and stayed by choice, though that same group would later face serious accusations and be widely described as a cult. Either way, Fleetwood Mac had to survive losing a founder overnight and somehow went on to become one of the biggest bands in the world. That is number one. So there is the pattern one more time. 7 legendary bands and 7 secrets the hits never told you. A number one with no band left to play it, credits that split brothers and bandmates, lyrics hiding something dark, and a founder who vanished into thin air. Which of these 7 secrets shocked you the most? Tell me down in the comments, and if you want more of the truth behind the music, subscribe to Thunder Riff Station and open the next file on your screen right now.